welcome back to my channel. My name is Soph, known as Soph here on Flosstube and over on Instagram. We've got a little visitor today, our little Molly. She's come to keep us company. I'm sure she'll leave at some point and go and snuggle with Johnny upstairs, but for now we've got her and you can just enjoy. So it's been a little while since I posted last. I think it was on the 21st of August that I posted my last Flosstube, and it is now the 6th of October, so it's officially my favourite month of the year, spooky month, October. Go on then. She's now trying to work her way around all of my cross stitch that I've got on the floor, and she knows she's not allowed to stand on it, so yeah, this is going to be fun. So spooky month is my favourite month, October. Halloween vibes, autumnal vibes, everything I love with stitching. So I'll start with a SAF with a start and finish, and it's also an FFO, so a fully finished object. So if you watched my previous video, you'd know that I planned to stitch on my full coverage for most of September. Now I did do a big chunk, but one day after I'd had like an ear, I've been having problems with my ear and my jaw, and I went to a consultant and I had to have a little procedure done, and I was feeling a bit sorry for myself. I laid in bed all day after work, and I just thought I can't bring myself to stitch on the big full coverage tonight. I need a small. So I was scrolling through Instagram, and Sprouting Lupine had just announced that she had a freebie if you joined her newsletter. So I decided to pick it up, and I believe I stitched it in one evening or finished it the following morning, but it stitched up really quickly. So I popped the finish on my Instagram and said that I would probably do one for each season, so change the colours, have an autumnal one, a spring, summer, winter one. And Woolly Kim Stitches said that it would look really nice as a biscornu, so I've never made one before, so I took that as a challenge and I decided to do that. So this is my fully finished object. So this is the original pattern with the crows and then the flowers, and I've just added these checkered bits onto the corner to make it look, well, to make it more square. And then on the back, I just changed the colours on the pattern, did the squares again. So on this side, the colours I replaced it with are 920 and 3826, and that's in DMC colours. And these tiny little buttons, they were from a box that was left to me from my nan when she passed away, my nanny. Not the one I stitched the shambles for. So I feel like I've got a little piece of her on this as well, which is lovely. So I'm going to be using this as a needle cushion, pin cushion, that's the one. So this was stitched on 28 count even weave in sky blue from Stitchtastic on Etsy. I can't stop showing you it. I love it. So I started that on the 13th of September and I finished on the 16th of September. If you see me looking down, I've got all my notes written down on my notepad down here. So that's why I'm not falling asleep or anything, even though I am quite tired. So the next finish I have is something I can't physically show you. It's a stitch that I did for Old Barn Stitching Company, and it has been released recently, so I can actually tell you about it now. It was a model stitch I did for them, and I started it on the 12th of August and finished on the 23rd of August. So this is Harvest Witches by Old Barn Stitching Company, and I thoroughly enjoyed stitching this. It's the first time I actually used variegated thread. I've got so many patterns kitted up to start with variegated. I just haven't. I can't get my words out today. So I've had lots of things kitted up with variegated floss, but I just haven't got around to starting them yet. So this is the first one, and I even said to Sammy, are you happy that this is the first time I've ever used variegated and it's going to be like an experiment on a model stitch? And she was like, yeah, I trust you, go ahead with it. And I really enjoyed it, so much so I'm going to be starting the ones I've kitted up variegated flosses with, and yeah, I really enjoyed it, so watch this space. So that was stitched on 32 count natural permin and 1/2, so it had like vintagey look, or primitive, I guess, look. So I will post the link below. It is available to buy on the Old Barn Stitching Company's website. So if you do love this pattern, please go ahead and buy it. I thoroughly enjoyed stitching it. The next one I wanted to show you is another finish, and this is Halloween at Grannies. I finally finished it. So this is by Carolyn Manning. And just look at the colours on that. This was so much fun to stitch. Now I've had a lot of people asking if it was fun to stitch, because it is quite a repetitive pattern. Now the colours and the amount of changes in design in each square made it really fun to stitch. I was never bored. It was not a mindless stitch, but it was one that you didn't have to give too much attention to, but enough that you didn't get bored. I would definitely recommend stitching this one. So it's by Carolyn Manning, and I stitched this just on a 14 count black Ada I got given to me by Johnny's auntie when she did a de-stash. So thank you, Auntie Libby, for that black Ada. So I actually started this with Amy, which is who is So Make and Create over on Instagram and on Flosstube, and she surpassed me months ago and finished it. And she mentioned that she would be potentially changing this into like a little bag just to store threads and needle minders and scissors and stuff, so like an odds and sods bag. So I was thinking of doing something similar, but we shall see. I'll take it to Soph in Turtle Bay Textiles and see what she can help me make with it. I will at some point fully finish all of my finishes, and that might be a plan for 2025. I might focus on that because I'm not the best at doing it unless it gets framed. As you can see, there's a few framed up here, but I'm trying to branch out and do other little things like I did with the Biscornu. So they are all my finishes. What have I got to show you next? Nope, they're not all my finishes. There is one more that I wanted to tell you about. So the lovely Shelley got married to Stephen recently. She invited a few of us stitchy girls up to come to the wedding. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to make it because I had to work, but it looks like she had a fabulous time, and the photos are lovely. We get my words out properly. So the photos of the wedding looked absolutely lovely, and I was having big FOMO. I wanted to be there, and they gifted the cross stitch whilst they were sitting around the fire, and this is the picture of the fully finished cross stitch that we all did around Robin and stitched for Shelley and Stephen for their wedding. And from what I've heard, they were really happy with it, so I'm glad we can actually show it here. So the only information I've got on this one is the Talking Dog stitcher, Rachel, kitted this up for us. I believe it's stitched in CXC, and it's called the Scandi Heart Wedding Sampler, and that's the only other information I've got on it. But really enjoyed stitching this when I stitched the little bit at the bottom of, so the V shape at the bottom of the heart, and then a tiny bit of the border, but we actually made it fit together. Sometimes I get the frame wrong myself when stitching it, so sharing it between, I can't remember how many there was of us, a few, we were able to make it match. And I was really happy with that. So that's it for my finishes. I will show you my new starts because there's been a few. So the first new start is this lovely pattern. So it's Away We Ride by Blackbird Designs. And I just love it. It's very witchy. It says, away we ride till it's dark as pitch to find the home of the Wicked Witch. And being October, I think it was just, yeah, had to be done. So Flossie Sews and Grows, Just So Sherrie and Lauren Flossabilities are stitching this as a Sal, and I believe Talking Dog stitcher Rachel has joined on as well, and I just couldn't sit by and watch everyone stitch it without doing it. Now it is stitched with Gentle Arts threads. Look at that colour palette. It's just like the perfect autumnal colour palette. The elusive Garden Gate. We have struggled to get this in the UK, Thank you to Rachel and Sherrie for making that happen for me. I was going to sub it for some other colours, but they managed to get me enough so I could actually do the pattern myself. This is the measly, tiniest little start I've ever done on a pattern, but, you know, needle has met fabric and that's all that matters. So this, if you want to join along in this stitch along, it is #AwayWeStitch, and this is where I am with it. So top left start, the smallest start ever. So I started this on the 20th of September. So I started it in Turtle Bay Textiles, surrounded by a few of my lovely Flosstube friends. While we were helping Soph set up, we chilled out on the Friday evening once everything had been done, and I made a little start on this. So that, the other details are, this is stitched on 40 count grey by Weeks Dye Works, and that's all on that one. Need to sit down and actually get some more stitches in this because it doesn't look like anything at the moment, but it's there, it is there. So me and a lovely group of ladies that get together every month on a Sunday, that we've coined ourselves the Sunday Stitchy Club, we decided to stitch this pattern together. So this is the Lilly Otter by Wrendale Designs. This is what it'll look like fully completed. You can get this pattern in the Cross Stitch magazine, and it's issue 346. So if you did want to stitch it with us, that's the magazine. Please join us. We've got a few. It's all the Sunday Stitching Club, and then I believe Catkin and Lilly has started it as well, and my friend Diana up in Scotland, who has almost finished it. She's going away to Florida in a couple of days, I believe, and I don't know if she's taking her with her, but she was trying to get it done before she goes away, and yeah, it is pretty much done. It's blown me away, but this is where I am with it. Nowhere near. So we've got a tiny bit of the Otter there, and then we've got the Lilly. So I'm stitching it on 32 count Murano Splash Lugana in light basalt, and it's by the Patchwork Rabbit. This lovely needle minder is from Cotton and Clay, who made it specifically for this stitch along for us. So I definitely need to sit down and get some stitches in on that one, because I've only stitched it on the Cardiff Stitchy Day in Pendoilen by Loopy Lou's Retreat. We decided to start it on the 22nd of September. If you want to join in with us, the hashtag is I got Otter, stitch that cell. I'll pop it below. And yeah, I have not touched it since we started it that day. The pattern is really frustrating. I will warn you if you do want to start it, because it's split over 2 pages on the magazine. It's really difficult when you go from one side to the other, and I've noticed that there's very similar symbols in similar colours, so it isn't the easiest pattern to read. So I think that's why it's gone to the side and I've not stitched on it since. I was very, very tired that day because we had the in one weekend, my friend Cross Stitch Jess came down from Birmingham. She stayed with me on the Friday night and the Saturday night, and on the Friday we helped Soph of Turtle Bay Textiles. She used to be Turtle Bay Stitches and Pink Scissors in Bridgend, and she amalgamated the two. So on the Friday, we were helping her prepare for the open day, which was the Saturday. So we went down, helped her out, and then, as I said earlier, we did some stitching in the evening. And then on the Saturday, she had her open day. We were all a bit panicky beforehand, thinking, I hope people turn up, and we were blown away. By 11 o'clock, it was rammed in there. There were so many people. Got to meet so many lovely people that I've watched or followed on Instagram and not met in person. So I got to meet Mama Loves You GB, which was amazing. I got to meet Cardiff Stitcher Danielle. I believe that's what her tag is. Obviously, the lovely Just So Sherrie was there, Talking Dog Stitcher, Rachel, Cross Stitch Jess, as I just said, and Soph Turtle Bay Stitches. So it was lovely, really, really nice day. After everyone had left, we got to chill out together. We went and grabbed some food and we just decompressed. It was a really lovely weekend, but I was very tired by Sunday because I'd not peopled out, but it was more people in than I've done in a while. So by Sunday I was very, very tired. Really enjoyed Loopy Lou's retreat as well. Spoke to a few people throughout the room, but I do have to say I was so tired that I didn't get around the whole room. I just kind of sat there and concentrated on that pattern. But I think she's doing like a weekend retreat soon in Cardiff, so that'll be great. I'm hoping to attend that, depending on what dates and prices and things like that. I digress. Back to cross stitch. The next start I have is this beautiful Mill Hill kit. So it's called Autumn Moose, and it's the Autumn Mill Hill collection. So I bought this because I love anything autumnal, and I love moose. I always go to say mises, but I know it's moose. I love moose. Mooses? Oh God. Words have eluded me this weekend. Anyway, I love this moose and I wanted to try beading. So it's got a specialty bead here and then it's got loads of beads within the pattern. The one thing I hated about this is the threads don't come organised, so I had to sit there and organise them, and some of them were so close in colour, it took me ages to figure it out. But it's done now. I hope it's done in the right way. If not, it's so close it doesn't even matter. But yeah, this is where I am with it. So it's stitched on this like olive colour perforated paper, and I started it on the 1st of October. But I am thoroughly enjoying stitching on the perforated paper. It's so easy to take to work and like stitch on my lunch break rather than bringing out a huge pattern and getting that ready. You can just pull this out, you don't need a hoop. It's been perfect. So I think I will always have a Mill Hill kit on the go, just for ease. But I absolutely love this one. Tea break. On to whips. My oldest whip is Comforts of Home by Terry Redlin. This is charted by Heaven and Earth Designs, and it's my first ever, only full coverage. This is what it'll look like when it's completed. Absolutely beautiful. And I can't wait for it to be on my wall, but I may be 45 by the time that happens in 10 years. So I told myself I would stitch on this majority of the days in September. Now I did pretty well. I started on the 1st of September and I may have actually started the day before, so the last day of August. And then I stitched until about the 20th when I started all my other new starts. Excuse me. So, this is where I am with it. I hope you can see that. It is quite a dark section of the pattern, but I think when I last showed you, I was only at a 1-page finish and it ended about there. And now I'm close to a 2-page finish on this. I've got the big tree stitched in. And if I go further over this way, just by one column, I think I'll start getting the sunset in and I'm excited for that. And then if I work my way down, the house will be there. Slow going, but I do enjoy stitching it. I need to break it up. I think doing it every single day, by the time I'd stitched it a bit, I wanted smalls. So I think a mixture is my sweet spot with this one. So I'm stitching this 2/1 tent stitch, but I am railroading just to give it a fuller look. And it's stitched on 28 count easy grid Lugana. And it's all with CXC threads. And I started it on the 17th of September 2023. So it's really not got much love. So I did some in September, I think I did some in March, and I've done some in September again, so it's really slow going, but I am going to try and concentrate on a little bit of this each month. I'm stitching it with Royal Rose. I can't remember if I said that or not. So I'm doing parking, and I'm 5.77% complete, which doesn't feel like a lot, but it's a lot of stitching. So that's where I am with that one. The next pattern I've been stitching on is one that you've probably seen quite a lot on this channel, although I am a bit behind on this one. So I stitched the Wanderer Sal last year by Quaternion Creations. She brought out the Wanderer Sal, or the new Wanderer Sal, and I started it, and I've been terrible at keeping up with the Sal. Absolutely love it, but I've just been distracted by other things. So I sat down and decided to stitch 2 bottles to catch up and actually participate in the Sal again. So there you go. So I believe, yeah, it was in Amsterdam. So I stitched Mexico City and Seattle recently. I've only stitched 3 bottles on this, and there is part 7 has just been released, so I've got 4 bottles to catch up on. They do stitch up for me in a matter of, like, if I'm concentrating on them solely, within like 2 evenings, 3 evenings potentially, depending on how dense the like the cross stitch is, because we've got black work and then it's filled in with like cross stitch. So I will be concentrating on this going forward to try and catch up, because I hate being behind on Sals, but I'm behind on 2 at the moment. Luckily, the other Sals that I'm participating in, we don't have a set time when it needs to be finished, and I'm happy with that. That's how I'm enjoying it right now. So there we are. We're stitching this on 16 count, Ada in beige, and with the called for DMC. The hashtag on that one is hashtag New Wanderer Sal. And if you don't know of Quaternion Creations, please check her stuff out, because she has a Emerging Queendom book coming out at the end of the year. She had a crowdfunder to actually raise the money for the book, which I was part of. I'm so excited to be getting my book through that. I do know that Talking Dog Stitchery will be stocking her book when it is released as well. So I believe there will be a Sal surrounding the book, so maybe 1 pattern each month next year. So that is something I would really like to take part in. I don't know because I don't know how big the patterns are. If they are big patterns, I might be selective in which ones I stitch next year, but I definitely will be stitching some. Maria's absolutely lovely. She's a really lovely lady, and I just love all her designs, as you'll see, because the next whip I've been working on is another one of hers. So I've got a bit of a story surrounding this one, but I will show you the picture, then I'll go off into the story. I'll show you the stitching, and then I'll go off into the story. Since I last showed you, I've caught up on part 6, and I'm part of the way through part 7. So I'll show you in full. So this was part 6, which was Holdra. I love the story that went along with that one. And then part 7 is this little one with the cat on the crown, the cat with the crown on the throne. Now, I've got a little story to tell you that kind of coincides with this. So on Friday, I was supposed to be going up to Birmingham, but I wasn't feeling very well, so I decided to take some time for me, and I just overworked myself in work and having busy weekends, so I was just so tired. I just needed time in my house with my dog and with my partner. So on Friday, I decided to go for a hike with my dog, and we were just walking along, and I love the Merlin app. I was just stood by this road. It's like loads of farmland, but there's a road that goes through, and there was some bushes. And I thought, oh my God, I've never heard that bird before. Gets out the Merlin app. I wonder what it is. So I went to turn it on, and then I thought, no, that's not a bird. That's a cat. Like, it sounds like a little cat crying. So I was looking around in the bushes, and I just thought, where's that coming from? And I looked down and there was this just fluffy white thing on the floor near the road underneath this bush. And I just thought, right, I've got my dog with me. She's a sight hound. I'm going to get her away from this situation before she thinks it's a squirrel or something and tries to chase it. So there was a farm gate across the road. So I went over, tied Molly to it, and then I went back to this tiny little kitten. And I looked around, there was no cat around, no other kittens that I could spot. It was just really close to a road, and I just thought, I'm not leaving it there. I can't have that on my conscience. So I picked this tiny thing up. It fitted barely in my hand. It was so small. Eyes were open, but one eye was like crusted over, and I had dungarees on, so I put it in my dungaree pocket, covered my woolly coat over me, grabbed Molly on the lead, and I walked, I think it was like it's a 35-minute walk home from there with this kitten who was like meowing to begin with, but who fell asleep on my chest and started purring. Oh my God, I fell in love. I just thought, I need to save this little thing. Got back to the house, grabbed a box that I usually keep my fabrics in. I emptied that quickly, put Molly's old puppy blanket in there and put the cat in there. Kept Molly and the kitten separate because, like I said, she's a sight hound. I didn't want anything bad to happen. And I took the kitten upstairs and was ringing around RSPCA, local vets. Wasn't really getting a straight answer. Spoke to this lovely lady from a cat rescue who said she thought, we spoke on FaceTime so she could see the kitten. By the way, I'll pop a picture in here of what the kitten looked like. It was absolutely adorable. She said it was 3 weeks old, looked like it had cat flu, so it needed to be bottle fed and it needed antibiotics. So she said, have you tried local vets? And I said, I've tried 2 on the phone, but they won't take it in. She said, they've got a duty of care. Just walk into one with the kitten and they will take it on. So driving to the vets on my own with this kitten in the footwell in a box, and I'm just thinking, I'm doing the right thing. I've got to get it looked after. Look to my right on my window and there's a little ladybird. Now, if you've been here a little while, you'll know that ladybirds remind me of my mum. Anytime me and my family see them, we feel like she's watching over us. So my mum basically travelled with me to the vets, and she was notorious for adopting stray animals, taking them in, rescuing them. So I feel like she looked after me while I took this journey. Took this kitten into the vet and just went straight to the reception. They were so lovely. They were like, thank you so much for bringing it in. Can I take it? So I didn't really get a chance to say goodbye. They took the box with the kitten into the back, and they said they put in an incubator. They needed to look after it for a while, bottle feed it and things. And they asked me, do you want to put your name, number and address down so it could be yours? And I was so close to saying yes. If I didn't have Molly, who was a sight hound, I would have said yes. No questions asked. It would have been my kitten. But Molly's the dog she is. It just wouldn't have been fair. It would be cruel. We'd have to have separated them. And yeah, I don't know how she would have acted when the cat got older. If she attacked it, I wouldn't have forgiven myself. So I just thought, no, I can't do this. But there was a man in the waiting area who'd said he just lost his cat. Could he adopt it? So it just felt like so serendipitous. So that little kitten hopefully is going to be going to this man, and it'll be looked after forever. I didn't want to name it because I would have got attached and would have brought it home with me. But afterwards, being so white and fluffy, I just decided to call him Gwyn, which is white in Welsh. Yeah. Anyway, after all that, before I'd gone for the walk, in my head, I was sat there stitching the moose, and my gut was going, no, you need to start part 7. You need to start part 7 of the Forest Fairy Tale Cell. It needs to be done. So when I got back home from the vets, I sat down. I was quite emotional because I'd just given this gorgeous kitten that I'd bonded with over 2 hours away. And I pulled out this pattern. And part 7, as I showed you earlier, has cats on it. But do you know what the part 7 is called? The white cat. And I was just sat there like, oh my God, this was all meant to be. It was I keep thinking about it. I keep thinking about the little kitten. I'm going to give the vets a call next week just to check it's doing okay. But yeah, it was a very, very serendipitous day, I think. And this pattern will always remind me of the little white cat that I rescued. Oh, I'm getting emotional thinking about it. Anyway, they are all of my whips that I've stitched. I have a mountain of haul to show you. So I've already mentioned earlier that I've been to Loopy Lou's retreats. Rachel was down at Soph's Open Day, Turtle Bay Textiles. And what else? Oh, there was Needlework Marketplace as well. So I've bought quite a bit from all of these. So yeah, I'm going to go into that and stop getting emotional about that white cat. So the first couple of things I wanted to show you are digital before I get into my mountain that's on the left of me. So the first pattern I got is the Frida freebie from the Laurel Witch. So this is what it looks like. It was a freebie a couple of months ago, I believe. I just forgot to mention it on my Flosstube. So that is a little small that I want to stitch up and maybe make like a little rectangular pillow, or maybe do it to the shape of Frida herself. So we shall see. So there's that pattern. I'm not sure if it's free anymore, but it's worth having a look on her website. The next pattern is the Blossom Cow, which is this one. And I saw this and instantly fell in love with it and needed it in my life. I was obsessed with cows when I was younger. So much so when I got diagnosed when I was ill, when I got diagnosed with cancer when I was 16, everyone bought me cows, cow teddies, cow pillows. My whole double bed was filled with cow toys. So for ages I was like the cowgirl. Not in a cool way either. But I saw this and I loved it so much. I thought I need to stitch that and have that on my wall as like a throwback to what I used to love when I was younger. So that one is by Nathnalu. I think that's how you pronounce it. I apologise if it's not, but that's how my brain sees it. That one was bought from Etsy. They are the digital patterns that I've bought. I will go through the mountain with you now. So we'll go with Needlework Marketplace. So I placed my order with Talking Dog Stitchery. She was messed around a bit, I think, by a supplier, so it took a little bit longer than usual to get to us. But they're here. I've got them in my hands and I'm so excited. So the first pattern I bought was Glenda's Garden by the Artsy Housewife. And just that fabric in the background just sets this off, doesn't it? I just fell in love with this. I know it's going to be a lot of block colour, but I think I'm going to thoroughly enjoy it. So this one has, if you've bought this as well, it has got the wrong symbols on the threads list that was provided. So if you reached out to them, I think if you go onto their Instagram page, they've got an email address you can email. And they were so prompt. I think I emailed them within 5 minutes. They sent me the correct list. So this is the original list, and then they've just sent over and I printed out the correct list. So I think the only ones, looking at this, the only ones that are different are the baby spinach and mulberry. So they've just got the wrong numbers on the symbols, so the correct one has the correct symbols. But I think, yeah, the thread list is exactly the same, it's just the symbols when you're stitching it. So that's been corrected. I thought I'd let you guys know, just in case you've got it as well. So there's Glenda's Garden. The next pattern I bought was by Shaded Stitchery, and it's called Array Number 1. And I love patterns, cross-stitching patterns like this. It's very similar in my brain to like Carolyn Manning's one I just finished. Just like meditative stitching, that's it. So I think I'm going to do the black and white one first, this one here, and then I might go to the colour. But I saw this and instantly put it in my basket and ordered it. The next one is probably as Christmassy as I go. So this one is called Festive Fungi and it's by Sprouting Lupine. And it's just this gorgeous little mushrooms with some like reindeer and snowflakes in them. It's really, really cute. And then the next one is another sprouting lupine, and this is the first one I ordered on the Needlework marketplace. I fell in love. It's called the Graveyard Guardian, and it's just so gothy. I love it. Can't wait to stitch this one. So my friend Cassandra, who lives over in Canada, she is stitching this, and I think I'll be stitching it with her. She's got the most incredible fabric for hers. I just need to find something similar that I love just as much. So there's that one. So that's all for the Needlework marketplace. The next purchases were just some purchases from Talking Dog Stitchery online. So we've got another artsy housewife, and this is the flower pot sampler, and I just fell in love with this when I saw it. Just the oranges and the yellows, absolutely lovely. I think this might be more of a spring stitch, but you never know. I absolutely love the checkered pot on this one as well. And we have this as well. So this is the blue flower, and it's a greyhound year. So we've got a greyhound for every single month of the year, and because I've got my own sighthound, and I've just made her a similar outfit to this, so a little Spyro outfit. This is like a little dragon. I just thought I needed to stitch this. So I'm hoping to start this in January next year and stitch a sighthound per month, and then that can go up in our living room as another ode to Molly. So yeah, that one. And then I had some stitchy haul from the weekend that was the open day for Soph and the Loopy Loo's retreat. So I do have some stuff from Soph, and I can't find where I put it. She gave me a goodie bag with some, I think she gave everyone a goodie bag on the day if you made a purchase. And there was some quilting clips in there, some sweets, a key ring, some fabric. Yeah, a really, really cute bag. That is somewhere I put away safe and I can't find it. And I did buy some finishing, what's it called? Finishing silk. I want to say silk, but it's not. It's like edging. And I can't seem to find that as well. I will find it. It's somewhere. I think it's in the bottom of my fabrics drawer, so I will have a look. It just got rearranged when I took all the stuff out to rescue that cat. So I will show that next time, or when I do some finishes with it. But it's lovely white and red like pom-poms that I can finish. I can put on smalls when I finish them. So, Talking Dog Stitchery in person, I bought these Putini Halloween Biscornu Trio 2024. They're absolutely beautiful, and after making the Biscornu, the crow one I showed you earlier, I really, really want to make more, so that could be an imminent start. I also bought Flossability's Halloween pillow, which is absolutely gorgeous, and that needs to be started ASAP. So I do have a Rustico 14 count Ada I was thinking of stitching this on, but I didn't know if 14 count would be too big. Now they do have the pattern can be stitched up on 14 count on the back, but the model stitch was, let's have a look, what does it say? The model stitch was on 30 count, so I'm not sure. It wouldn't be much difference looking at it, but we shall see. I have bought, however, this colour to go with it. So it's Cottage Garden Threads Black Ichor, I think. And I think this is discontinued now. It's got a very subtle variegation to it. And this is the last one that Rachel had in stock. So I'm hoping there would be enough for me to stitch this on 14 count. If not, I know that Sherrie of Just So Sherrie said that she's got some. So she might have to come to my rescue if I decide to do it on 14 count. Now these I saw on the Friday, didn't pick them up on the Saturday, I dreamt of them Friday night and Saturday night, so I bought them on the Sunday at Loopy Lou's retreat. So from Talking Dog Stitcher again, these are Waxing Moon designs, and there's the Autumn Barn Trio. Look at the geese flying over this barn here, that just sold me. And then Autumn House Trio. And I just thought they'd be so cute, all finished into little pillows. Yeah, I just fell in love. The other thing that I bought from Rachel was these Halloween pins. So we've got a ghost, a skull, and then if we turn it upside down, we've got a black cat and we've got a pumpkin. I should have taken out of the packaging. But they are going to go in my biscornus when they're finished. So I am slowly kitting up the Sleeping Bee by Blue Flower. Soph of Turtle Bay Stitches is actually stitching it as well, or going to be starting it soon. So I tried to get all of the colours from Rach, but she didn't have all of them. So I've got most of them. So I got 4 Gentle Arts colours and 1 classic colour work from her. So there's Lunar Eclipse, Heirloom Gold, Crystal Lake, Chamomile, and Barn Grey. So there's a few other colours that I need to get with it. I've got a perfect yellow fabric that I'm thinking of stitching it on, but once I've got all the colours, I will do a floss toss just to check that it actually doesn't drown any of the colours out, and then I will start stitching at some point. The only other thing that I've got to show you is this beautiful bag by Cross Stitch Jess, and it's this whale and squid bag. So Jess does the diagonal zips, and then inside you've got some crabs, some shells, seahorses. It's just absolutely beautiful. I don't know what I'm going to stick in this yet. I do have a couple of whale patterns, or patterns with whales in, that I think will be perfect for it. So yeah, for now, it's just sitting patiently waiting to be filled and being admired and stroked by me. So plans. Firstly, I should have started the video by saying this. I actually planned to start the video by saying it. It's written on my notes, but I just kind of went rogue. I went rogue. I am so close to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, and it blows my mind that I'm that close. I think I've got 60 subscribers left until I meet 1,000, and I just want to say a huge thank you to everyone who watches, who subscribed, who supports me. It means a lot. It really does mean a lot, so thank you so much. I really enjoy putting content out there, and it feels like I'm having a chat with friends, so I hope it feels the same on the other side of the camera. I will be doing a giveaway when I get to 1,000 subscribers. I've got some lovely things that I've been gifted that I'm not going to show you now. I will show you when we reach 1,000 subscribers, if we reach 1,000 subscribers. Hopefully we do. So I just want to say a huge thank you to everyone. I'm blown away by your support, and it makes me so happy. The only other plans going forward is the giveaway at 1,000, and looking to start the Halloween pillow and the biscornus that I spoke about, and probably other patterns that I've bought, because I don't know what's happened with me, but I went really Cardiff then. I have done that. So I have decided to not get so stressed with the whips and just start what I want to start when I want to start them. I'm still under 10 whips at the moment, so I thought, why not? Like, just start what you want to start. And I haven't got stressed with it. I'm just enjoying what I'm doing. In fact, when I got my whip count down really, really low, I was struggling on what to stitch on. I just didn't feel like I was in the mood for some of the ones I had. Now, some of the ones I've got haven't had a look in, which I'm hoping to do next month as well. But yeah, I think that's everything from me. It's been a while since I've spoken to you last, and I'm a little bit rusty, so I've probably forgotten some things. And yeah, I'm hoping to do one sooner, but you know, life happens and busy weekends come along and work being busy, it might not happen. So I'm hoping it will. We shall see. Maybe I'll see you soon. That's everything from me, guys. I hope you have a lovely day, evening, wherever you are in the day. Hope you have a lovely day. Happy stitching, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.